rapping Drake for 6 songs, I'll take it. What's good, y'all? It's your boy Mixtape Muff. Please smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. So Drizzy Drake, the Sixth God, is back just a little over 1 month after he had released For All the Dogs. Now, even though For All the Dogs had big sales and generated a lot of streams, it was not perceived as one of the good Drake albums. In fact, when For All the Dogs had dropped, a lot of folks labeled it as a mid or completely trash release. To keep it a buck, I didn't think it was a good album either, as I only gave it 2.5 mics, but there were some people that thought it was worse than I did. Now, Joe Budden was the main hip-hop media personality who was the most critical of the project. And what did that do? Well, it prompted Drake clearly to go back to the lab and just rap for 6 songs over what sounded like pretty traditional hip-hop sounding beats. So getting right into these 6 new songs for the Scary Hours edition, starting with number 1, Red Button. It's Drake going in, essentially venting for 1 verse, letting everyone know that he's a ticking time bomb set to detonate. We get this ghostly vocal harmony with minimal drums, and Drake is flexing some hunger here, but he's also hitting us over the head with some arrogant bars. Like when he said, Taylor Swift, the only person I ever rated, only one can make me drop the album just a little later. Rest of y'all, I treat you like you never made it. Leave your label devastated even when you pad the stats, period. I never hated. Even when you stab me in the back, the vest is metal plated. So Drake is indeed talking his talk while also sunning those who haven't been as successful. It also seemed for a brief moment on this track that he was paying homage to the Wu by starting out some of his bars saying, I'll fucking, y'all know what I'm talking about. The Method Man skit on the Method Man song with the Killer Tape shit. Yeah, this was a dope opening song with a cool rhyme scheme from Drake, and I feel he set it off in a chilly and slightly ominous way. Track 2, Stories About My Brother. It finds Drake linking up once more with one of the underground's most praised producers currently, Conductor Williams. Now here, Conductor supplies Drake with a jazzy boom bap instrumental, and I feel it's a backdrop that's pretty hard for traditional hip-hop fans to hate on. I'm thinking. At the beginning of this song, he alludes to what might be a possible time away from rap with lines, this is the decompress before the intermission. And on this record, we are getting some very direct shots at Joe Budden with, imagine us getting validation from an ex-musician searching for recognition. That was a hard line, but let's be real, Drake. It was likely because of Joe Budden that you felt the need to go back in the booth to prove yourself. So you do essentially care about Budden's opinions. But also on this track, he centers on the theme of loyalty and brotherhood. He doesn't directly say who his brother is. It could be one of his day one homies, or perhaps he is talking about Jay Prince in Mob Ties, because Drake does describe his brother as this threatening like figure, so I'm just gonna assume it's Mob Ties. My brother a tool-toter, my brother a tombstoner, diamonds and violence made us bond, we grew closer, my brother a clip loader, my brother a sick soldier, that dude will stick it to you for real, he a lint roller. Track 3, The Shoe Fits, has this slower tempo, moody, sample-based instrumental. And Drake is doing some storytelling here, but he's mainly calling out both the men and women who have been his biggest critics and haters. And on the hook, he's talking about how his fans want him to rap like that old Drake, but he doesn't know how anymore because he's leveled up so damn much. On the first verse, which is dedicated to his female critics, Drake says, maybe you can stop getting involved in some shit when you're not involved, or maybe you could go for a walk somewhere that's not a mall. What's your baby's shoe size? Can tell by the laces they tight, or are you only focused on the steps that I'm taking in life? So Drake does have this petty and snarky tone throughout, which I'm not all that surprised about. And when he is addressing the guys, he comically says, Batty's not the only ones worried about striking a pose. You ordering one bottle to split with 5 of the bros. So yeah, overall, I did like the chill storytelling flow Drake was using, and the sample-based production was pretty dope. Track 4, Wickman, has this cloudy, atmospheric beat from the legendary Alchemist. Is this the first time these two gentlemen collaborated? It might not be, but my memory escapes me. But on this particular record, Drake is giving us a mix of slick talk, lyrical aggression, and some introspection. But I have to report on one extremely corny bar. I gotta get it out the way. I'm in that bag right now. I'm lipstick. Oh, Drake, that was atrocious. Although I did feel the following line was clever. I feel like I'm always on thin ice with a thick bitch. And later in the track, Drake does attempt to get a little deeper, especially when speaking on the loss of a female friend, which made him question his belief in God. So yeah, overall, very cool track. The instrumental from Uncle Al is easily the most low-key and subdued on this project, but I didn't dislike it. We do get more fireworks, however, on the following track, Evil Ways with J. Cole, and what an unlikely alliance these two have formed in the past couple months. Now, this is the follow-up to First Person Shooter, that banger, and they are also planning on going on tour. Here we get some attractive soul chops on the production. It is easily my favorite on the project. Another thing that I did really like about this song was that they were doing an ill back and forth the whole time. So think of Styles and Jada, think of Tech and Steel, Smooth the Hustler, Trigger the Gambler, Nas, AZ, Ray and Ghost. And that is something that Mixtape Moth is always here for, as I wish when rappers do collabs, there would be more of that back and forth action. J. Cole opens it with, yeah, and we linking like we freed the slaves. I conquered hell. I walked in the veil and set my feet ablaze. And there was something about the imagery here that reminded me a bit of his very praised verse last year from Benny's album. Drake said, man, I'm living out Carlito's way. You dudes ain't getting no bread. You in the keto phase? Okay, very witty. And my whip used to have the seat displays where Smack DVDs would play. So yeah, there were other sharp lines from both Cole and Drake throughout, but let me know in the comment section who y'all thought had the better bars. Personally, I am going to give the slight edge to Drake, or at least I'll say he did redeem himself considerably after being washed on First Person Shooter, I'll say that. Then this project wraps up with You Broke My Heart, which sonically feels like the Nothing Was the Same and Take Care era Drake, in that he was effortlessly going from rapping to harmonizing. And I also really like this instrumental. I dug the regal, bold horns, as well as the female soul vocal. Yeah, in terms of the vibe and the production, this one was great. Although I did think his post refrain hook of fuck my ex at the end was pretty cringy. So overall, I'm gonna give this 6-track Scary Hours edition project a rating of 4 Mike. As cliche as it may sound, I feel Drake was 6 for 6 here. It's rapping Drake, and the production was very serviceable to dope. So honestly, I didn't find fault with much of it, although there were some corny bars scattered throughout. I actually really wish, though, that he would have released this 6-track EP separately so that we would always know it as that ill 6-track EP instead of being an attachment on the For All the Dogs project, for obvious reasons. But If you like barred up Drake, or when Drake is showing love to producers like The Alchemist and Conductor Williams, then I'm pretty confident that you would at least give this project a 3.5 at the lowest. My favorite tracks include Red Button, Stories About My Brother, Evil Ways, and You Broke My Heart. But let me know what you thought about this project in the comment section. It's your boy Mixtape Mob. I'm signing out. But as always, it's peace and blessings, Drake, for all the dogs. Scary Hours Edition 1.